being an app, the view, yeah, for male people. Yeah, who ain't that for? And he said, they said it. The word you let him. Fact, all correct. Shit, he just didn't know that.
First day out, fucking back out here to these streets.
Don't get you back to it.
I think a lot. It was a very even Syrian.
Cool. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Today, we're going to hit that locked up abroad. Got a brother on that spent some time in another country. When he had hit me up, I needed some confirmation that he was really there, right? And he sent me some photos that were just outrageous. I got some videos, and the photos are some things that you probably can't put on YouTube. So we'll probably have to get a Patreon in order to show people these. The most disturbing photos that I've ever seen. I can say that. Look, I'm stuttering because it was just outrageous. But anyway, we're going to talk to George. George, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and let's talk a little bit about you.
So my name is George. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
George, I know you grew up in a kind of a Hispanic neighborhood growing up, right?
Yeah, almost pretty much every neighborhood I lived in, Hispanic neighborhood, from Phoenix to Albuquerque, usually immigrant neighborhoods.
What was your life like growing up, man? I mean, I know you told me that they called you Gringo. So what was it like for you, a white kid? You kind of got...
That wasn't my first nickname. My first nickname I hated. They used to call me Opie.
Well, I mean, I've been called that too. I think maybe it's a little red tint and stuff, you know, when we were kids, right?
Yeah, no, that's probably exactly what it was. But at the same time, it felt disrespectful to me as a youngin'. And then as I got up, I embraced it, kind of.
You embraced it. What was it like, though, for you growing up there? I mean, were you picked on? Did you have to fight? What you grow up doing?
Well, my parents split up when I was 7 years old. I moved to Phoenix in 1987, and my first shock experience, I showed up to school in a cowboy hat and boots, and I did get picked on that first day. To be honest, the thing I probably don't tell too many people, but I pissed my pants on purpose just so I could go home that day. I was about 7, 8 years old, and I had to learn to adjust. But once I got the freedom of everything, because my parents had split up, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I started fitting right in.
And then, you know, I know as you get older, maybe you're involved in a little bit of crime or whatever. What was your life like? You know, were you involved in crime?
Yeah. I mean, just like most kids are, you know. I mean, I would do a lot of. Started out. I know it might sound crazy. It started out me hanging out with at night. I would sneak out, go hang out with the homeless dudes, the prostitutes around the way. I would go dumpster diving. I know it sounds crazy, but when you're like 8, 9 years old and you look in the dumpster, you're like, man, did people throw this shit away? And yeah, so that was like my very, very start. And then from there, I started, you know, going and breaking into cars. I would steal car stereos like crazy. So yeah, change whatever out of cars. I used to be just a little kid just doing bad stuff.
You know, a lot of kids do bad stuff growing up, but does that escalate into bigger things later on in life?
100%. Throughout my whole life, you know, yeah, I could do it, but I actually, it was kind of pushed onto me by my family. To be honest, I grew up in like off and on in crack houses and things like that.
Were your parents addicted at all to drugs?
My dad is an amazing man. My dad, I get choked up thinking sometimes about my dad. My dad saved me. I feel like I got I don't want to say taken away. My mom brought me here to Phoenix, Arizona when I was 7 years old. Left my dad, and she left my dad for a crackhead. And my dad was an over the road truck driver, so I was stuck in Phoenix for dang, I get emotional about that. About 6 months, 7 months. They dropped me off at my grandma's house, who had kids from the state, foster kids and stuff like that. And I didn't really know my grandmother. They called her Crazy Mary. Called her Crazy Mary for a reason, you know. And yeah, and my dad showed up 6 months later and took me. I can't say my dad was like a perfect man or anything like that, but I have a lot of respect because he showed up and took me. And I used to only see my mom, and my mom would come like every weeks and would just leave, and I just the things I would feel inside when I would have to watch my mom leave. I would only see her for 5 minutes, and you would hear things about my mom that, I'm not even gonna say, but things I didn't really necessarily want to hear about my mom. Like no kid would want to hear about their mom. A couple times came, my mom broken her nose and broken nose and his eyes all swollen shut a couple of times, like this crazy stuff. And then when I would get to go stay with her, like uh her new boyfriend got chased out by these crack dealers. First time I ever seen a crack pipe type of stuff.
I mean, I understand, there's a lot of kids out there struggling with the same thing. And sometimes, that environment molds people. Like I put a post up on the community page the other day, pretty much asking like, hey, whose fault is it? When people end up in prison. And, a lot of people say, you know what, we make our own choices, right? We decide what we're going to do. But, when you got a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid, parents are drug addicted, on welfare, selling the food stamps, the kids are growing up without nothing, they find ways to make money. And they want to eat, right? It hurts when you go to bed hungry. I went to bed hungry in the street and in prison. So, I understand, the life that you're talking about and the life that you came from. My father was also a drug addict. I don't like to use the term, crackhead, but, it is what it is, man. He was, and he died. He died getting high pretty much. And I outline that stuff in my book. But anyway, do you feel like that, living like that shaped or molded what you would do later on in life?
Oh, 100%. Like I used to get dropped off with my auntie, and my auntie lived in a little ghetto. She went from the projects to a little like ghetto apartments and stuff. And they would go in the bathroom, and there would be 5 people in this little bitty bathroom. And I used to lay down on the floor trying to look underneath because I always wanted to know what they were doing in there. But I kind of got it. They were they were doing their thing. So, and yeah, it is my life. And I was encouraged by from my grandmother to my aunties. My mom would always try to do her. It's hard to explain my mom. My mom's a very smart woman too. Even though my mom had her issues, my mom taught me how to save money. My mom taught me how to save food stamps. My mom taught me how to collect food stamps. I used to be like very good with going around. They call it Mother's Day where we're from, and everybody knew to come find me to give all the food stamps. So I learned a lot of hustles from all that.
Then eventually you expand to hustling from, what I gather. We're not going to talk too much in depth about that, but don't want to get you jammed up anyway, federally or anything like that. But eventually, you're growing up over there. Are you discriminated against a little bit? What's it like? We see movies, right? I'm from the East Coast. I'm not from the West Coast. What's it like for a white dude, a young white kid to grow up in that Mexican or Hispanic neighborhood?
Well, to be honest, it was very racial, and not necessarily towards me I mean, it was, but once you're there in the particular situations, then it is what it is. So I mean, like people accept. Oh, like if they see your face and they see you, like, let me get this cleared out. Somebody's calling me, but yeah, once you're there and they yeah, okay, yeah, once you're there, you end up getting accepted pretty quick. You know what I mean? Like, because I go to school with everybody. It's just you get accepted pretty quick. It doesn't take too long. You learn to play basketball. You learn to do the stuff that everybody else does, and you get accepted pretty quick. But the black and Mexican race stuff was pretty serious when that's kind of how I got into stuff. I could go into neighborhoods because I went to school with everybody. Everybody's neighborhoods right next to each other. I could go into neighborhoods that other people couldn't go into, and so that's kind of how I got my little start doing my little hustles. My hustles actually started out with selling banana, candy bars, stuff like that.
Let me ask you this. Eventually, I mean, you end up, do you speak Spanish fluently?
Muy poco, pero estudiar todos los días.
Okay. And I know you had sent me some pictures eventually.
Get around and I study my Spanish. That's what I just told you. So
Well, I know you end up marrying what, a Hispanic woman, right?
did three different ones.
Damn, bro. I mean, you're doing better than most of us on the East Coast. No, I'm just playing. Oh, but eventually, you sent me these videos, man, that were absolutely. I'm like, okay, you sent me these videos, but I need to see you in the video. So you sent me videos with you in there getting your hair cut, and you sent me some pictures, like I said in the beginning, that were just shocking, bro. Something I wouldn't, show my wife or anybody like that. Just absolutely crazy. You end up where, in Honduras?
Yeah, I own a place right down there on the water. So yeah, I went down there to finalize some stuff. I'd actually broke my neck. I broke my neck pretty good, and I have a lot of friends and people that I love that got addicted to opioids really bad. And when I broke my neck, the doctor had given me an option to smoke weed or to pop pills. And I'm not a person that wants anything to actually have control of my life. I've been smoking weed since I was in second grade, so weed ain't never really controlled my life. So I chose to go ahead and take that prescription for that marijuana. And I had looked up and they said that Honduras would respect the marijuana law. And yeah, my wife told me that I could just pay people off when I got there anyway if anybody bothered me. And I was like, all right, cool. So I treated well, and then the guy I went out there to go meet, my friend, he told me not to do it. And I didn't listen to him, which I should have listened, you know what I mean? And I flew in, everything was good. They didn't find nothing on me when I first got there. I brought that good loud, because I had a nice good little amount of some loud, ounce or so. And I came in, everything was good. We were smoking. I had a good little time, but I had to catch another flight and go to La Ceiba, Honduras, to catch another one because I was actually supposed to take a boat ride over to the islands, and the waters were too choppy, so I didn't get to do that. They told me go ahead and fly. It was like $50, and I was like, all right. So I showed up to the airport, and I did just like I do here because I travel with my smoke here. They don't ever cause me no issues, and I just threw it through the thing. I give it right to them, and they pulled out that jar of weed. Man, you would have thought that they had just caught the Pablo Escobar. I ended up on the news. It was crazy.
So now you end up going to a Honduras prison, right? What's it like for you, white dude? You walk into this prison, we all see, locked up abroad. What's it like for you? What's it like for George to walk into this prison over there, man? Were you scared? Keep it 100.
Yeah, I was 100% like anybody that tells you you're not scared when you get locked into handcuffed to something and then they throw you into the back of it's not like here like police car. It's not no police cars and no shit like that. You when they lock you into the back of that car and you got 5 guys standing around you with machine guns and they just took your weed, and on the way over there they asked me if I wanted if I was interested in a black favor, and I didn't even understand what a black favor was. And then when I got there, there's like 3 other because you got like a county jail too there. The county jail, oh my God, is crazy. But when I got there, they guys, they weren't too bad. They definitely hadn't seen, they usually don't see white guys from the hood over there. They're not used to that. So when they see me, they were like, oh, they want to check you down for your tattoos and stuff. But they get cool right away. And I think it was 2 cells, no running water, no air, no none of that shit. And just one door. So I apologize. I usually have a busy morning. I got a lot of people calling me. I apologize for that. But yeah, just one metal door with bars right there, and like about 3 guys sitting inside the jail. Some of the guys actually are afraid to go to the prison. You start hearing the people talk about their and when you start hearing why, and then you start being like, oh, okay, like because they don't play with that child molesting shit over there. Like they do not play about that. So when you get there, like I said, it's not too bad, but you go to adjust to your situation. It's 100 degrees and yeah, it's a little crazy.
What's the food like over there?
Me, personally, I can't tell you that my food experience was bad. The food's amazing, but not for everybody else. But I wasn't there like everybody else, so I got treated a little different.
So you weren't there like everybody else. You had a couple dollars so you could take care of yourself, right?
Not just a couple of dollars. I'm I have some really good friends over there. So
Well, we'll just say maybe you might be allegedly, maybe you're affiliated because of your neighborhood and you hung out with some guys that accepted you because of whoever you may have ran with when you were a younger fella, right?
that and my wife is from the islands, and the islands over there are pretty. They're something.
So I know you also sent me a video of some dude, man, he caught a pigeon and he's like ripping it up so he could eat it, right?
Yeah, man, I watched that guy do that with a rat. And I'm the type of person that when I was there, I started telling them over there, I was like, man, you don't see stuff like this back home. And right away I got me a phone pretty quick. I can't remember, I think I gave like 1,100 lempiras or something, got me a phone, and you're not really supposed to record, but I let my guy know that I wanted to take some videos and stuff like that. I wanted to see what was going on, and they allowed me to do that. If you want, let me get you through the county jail experience.
Yeah, let's go talk about it.
Well, so like I said, they got me to that little area. It's like a dungeon. I think they like call it the dungeon, and you're there, and it's like it's pretty bad. But the military had recently taken over from the police, and they had this guy that had worked for the FBI and some other stuff, right? And so I had to wait like 3 days for that guy to get there, and the whole time, like in the beginning, I got guards, not guards, the prison guards with machine guns and stuff. So I'm sitting there at the cell, and they got the TV, and I'm like trying to watch the Spanish TV, but my like trying to understand everything, and they like to watch soccer. I'm not really into that much, but you ain't got nothing else to do, so I'm sitting there waiting, and when he finally came, he got me and he wanted to talk to me, and he wanted to punish me. So by punishing me, he took away the TV from right there, but he took away the TV. I had to explain to him that I don't even watch that TV. You just took away from Don, and you took the TV away from all of these guys. You didn't take the TV away from me. You did that to them, and he was just like that. I don't know. It was crazy. It took the TV away for a couple of days. Nobody really had any ill will towards me because of it. Like, I actually had food brought up for everybody. They have this place called Bojangles. I paid for everybody to get food in there, and that's where that black favor comes in. So these motherfuckers, they just arrested me for that little bit of weed I had on me, maybe like an ounce of weed, and they asked me if I want that black favor. I said, what the fuck's a black favor? And he said, they said, you want some weed? You want some snort? What do you want? And I'm like, I don't do none of that. I said, yeah, give me some of my weed. You guys took my weed. Give me some of my weed. These motherfuckers brought me this black weed. I don't know how, or whatever. They brought me a cigar, and we roll it up. We go into they have a second little building and stuff, and you go inside this little building, like the room, just where we can get to. So I might even have some pictures and some videos of it, and it's just everything. It's just 18 everywhere, but the most foul people like shit in buckets and crazy shit. And so we're back in there smoking, and everybody else is getting all high. They pass that shit to me. I'm like, smoke, yeah. I'm left to look at these guys and be like, dude, you're getting high. I don't even get high on this shit. I had to back out of that, but it was a pretty humbling situation to be taken in there for a little bit of weed, and then the guards asking me, the same guards that arrested me, asking me if I want a black favor and giving me weed. That kind of hurt my heart really bad.
Hurt your heart? What the? I don't know. Anyway, so then you end up in that prison, man. I know there's some pretty vicious things. Like I said, dude, we can't show the pictures, but I got some video where there was maybe a gang clash, and they used. It looked like they used some machetes and took dude's head clean off his shoulders. Like, we got those pictures, man. Arms missing. There's a lag in the hallway. I mean, this is shocking. I thought Alabama prisons were vicious, and Georgia and Florida, but I mean, this is really a battle zone. What was it like for you to see some violence over there, bro?
Really, I didn't actually. And so I never actually had to see the violence with my 2 eyes. Like I didn't. I mean, I seen a couple people get slapped. I got like maybe punched a couple of times. Like but I didn't really ask too many questions about why things happen or what. So I didn't actually view it with my own eyes. But what I did view was they had brought a child molester in there, and the general guy had locked him up in the front of the thing. Well, I seen the cops actually drive these kids in and beat the shit out of them right in front of us too. I had the guards throwing gang signs at me, MS-13 gang signs. They put a red dot on my chest, and right around the way where you are, you can sit there at the bars. All you'll hear is ba-ba, ba-ba, ba, and you'll see dust and dirt coming up. They're shooting their AKs and stuff, and then they'll be fucking with you, and they'll put red dots on your chest when you're sitting at the thing. So I did see some stuff like that, but they took a child molester, and my wife ended up knowing the man that had molested this boy. I think his name was like Hassan or something, Hasan, some shit, and they kind of chained him up where he couldn't sit down for 24 hours in front of everybody, so everybody could see him, and then when they did bring him in, they threw him in with the MS-13s. The MS-13 are kind of outnumbered, but they're kind of crazy over there. They run around, they be poking people like if you let them out, because 18 and MS-13 don't get along. It's weird though. Sometimes I would see them coexist like it was nothing when they would let MS-13 dudes out after they did whatever they did to that man. I don't know if it was because they did what they did to him or what, but me and the MS-13 guy that did that became really close. Like because I would always go over and sit and smoke my weed over there by the little dungeon cells and stuff. So yeah.
I think that they were like, yo, man, this white boy's got money, man. I need him to look out. So we're going to look out and make sure he's straight as long as he's looking out. Was it ever like that?
Nah, my situation was different. Like if that's 100% what it probably would have been, but I was already there for to visit somebody. So all it was a couple of snaps of a finger, a couple of points, and I was in a good situation, so I can't really complain. Shout out to the Island Boys, man. You guys show me love. I really appreciate everything you guys did for me. Like from the bottom of my heart, man. You guys always got a place in my heart. So
definitely a wild experience to be in jail over there, right?
Yeah.
Controlled the jail over there, the prison.
18th Street. They call it's different everywhere. So you have you might have over here. You got South Side 18, you got West Side 18, you got Tiny Locals, you got Little Rascals, you got a bunch of different 18 over here. But over there, they just call themselves Barrio 18. You
said the MS were kind of outnumbered, but definitely off the hook, huh?
Off the hook. But if you get stuck in another prison, 18's outnumbered and just the opposite kind of thing. So yeah.
Those pictures that I was able to see, right? Was that kind of like some gang clash thing, or?
Yeah, that was a gang clash. That actually happened right after I left because I stayed in contact with a lot of people that were in there. I got treated good when I got there. I had an interpreter, I had a bodyguard, and I had all my meals cooked. I had 2 amazing meals cooked twice a day for me, stacked up to amazing. So like the treatment that I was given, I was offered anything. If I wanted a woman, I could have had a woman. I didn't do none of that stuff. But whatever I wanted, I could have had.
So some people might come on here and be like, man, he's capping. So I'm going to have to put some of them videos and pictures up in here, man.
Okay, yeah.
Because, some people be thinking that stuff, man. Like even when you contacted me, dude, I'm like, I don't know. I got to see these videos with you in them. Remember I said that?
Yeah, I do remember that. And I was trying to send them to you, but it wasn't letting me send them straight away. You sent me a link that allowed me to do it, though.
So anyway, man, when you do finally get out of there, what does it feel like to finally walk out of there, bro? Like, yo, I'm good.
Well, I mean, even like you mean when I left the building?
You left that prison and you were getting out of there. I mean, what was it like?
Be honest, there's a lead up even going into that, though. I mean, because I was there for 3.5 months, and when you like I'm on parole right now until May from that one. The whole lead up to that though was intense because they were talking about they could give me whatever years they want, and if I didn't pay out a certain amount of dollars, then it would have been I don't know if my sentence was 6 years or 5.5 years. But once it goes over, they put me right at that mark where if it goes over that number, then I have to stay there that whole time. Ain't no paying no money to go home. And it was a process trying to get through it. I ended up having 3 lawyers trying to rob me, and thankfully I had people over there that were like genuinely on my side. You know, like it's like, hey gringo, bien, and you come and they hit the click button on the what's up. I don't know if you know what's up is. That's how everybody communicates over there. They hit the click button on the what's up, and it's my lawyer talking about, hey, we're gonna try to get this white boy out, but they don't call you white boy, they call you gringo. They try to get this gringo out, but we're gonna stretch out his pockets. We're gonna do all this stuff to him, and so I mean it's a little scary. I can't tell you I didn't go back to my bunk a couple of times and all by myself. Let a couple of tears, because you know for a moment you feel like you're stuck, and you ain't coming home.
I mean, that would be enough for me to probably never, ever want to go back there. I don't know about you, but me, I'm not going back.
I've been back a few times. I go back. I got a place over there. Like it's actually an amazing place. If it's the same thing over here. I should have just followed my instinct, like how I am in the U.S. You know, if it doesn't feel right, it isn't right. You know what I'm saying? And I should have listened to the person that was there and told me not to do what I did, but I did it. So.
And now you're home, you're free. Like I said, even the listeners are probably, hell no. I mean, if they seen those pictures, that's it. Seeing those pictures, it's over with. I'm never coming back. And we're gonna put a Patreon together and put some stuff together for people, show people what's really going on in different places, and you know, even some of the prisons here in the U.S. But anyway, man, I know you're out. There's some things that we can't talk about here on this video. Eventually, maybe we will when things get resolved for you as far as whatever you got going on over here, man. But you know what, man? I know you're married, you got kids. What's going to keep you, man, from going to prison? What's going to keep you from, you know, doing the wrong thing?
Man, I don't know. I got a little limo company. I got me a little Airbnbs right now. I got my place over in the Caribbean. I'm trying to set my place in the Caribbean up over there so I can have visitors go out there and you know, I don't want people to be scared of this story. I'm saying if you're smart and you listen to what you're told, then you would have no issues. But I'm trying to set my Airbnb up over there in the Caribbean, have people go out and all your needs taken care of, you know, from food to fishing, whatever it is you want to go do. You know, little exotic vacations and stuff, you know.
Well, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you want to say before we get ready to go?
Man, I hope people make better choices than I've made in life. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really it, man. Just be smart, and then things that you do as a kid will affect you as you get older. That's 100% something I can tell you. If you've ever had to go and look another man in his face when that man and that man that tells you it's time for a background check and you ain't never gonna pass that background check, there ain't no feeling like that to be knocked around like that. So.
Well, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on. I'm going to tell people, if you like what we do, man, you already know what it is. Hit that like button, subscribe, let someone check out this video. We're going to figure out a way to get you guys the pictures for those who want to see them. Maybe they'll be on Instagram. Maybe we can jump back on that Discord. Something's going to happen so you guys can see what's really going on. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.